There's extra turbo in this twin turbo vise because I upgraded its screw support from a bushing to this bearing assembly. I've always known that on a properly set up vise, the biggest source of friction comes from the screw supports. That's especially true when the vise is wide open like this, as the vise's weight creates friction with the bushing that needs to be overcome to turn the handle. The pipes that extend back past the vise's body are a great feature for a number of reasons, lower friction operation among them, but it does make it more challenging to design a bearing assembly that contacts the rotary portion of the screw with a bearing that can turn. The non-rotating pipe end means that I needed to design a transition where the contact point shifts from those screw bearings with rotation axis the same as the screw to a second bearing or bearings with axis perpendicular to the screw's rotation axis. The first set of perpendicular bearings are the main contact point only when they are needed to support the pipe, and then the rail drops away and the parallel bearings take over and contact the rotating screw and are able to turn and reduce friction greatly. The install of these rails is the only real time consuming part of swapping them out for the old ones. Looks good, but I got to remove more material now. Yeah, got a little sloppy there towards the bottom, but nobody's going to see it. Okay, not the prettiest thing in the world, but nobody is going to see it except for all of you. I did size them so that it's possible to use them with a swivel mount, and that's also quick and fast to swap out. Okay, still a little play in it. That's perfect for now. If you want to pick up the bearing support kit that includes the rails, I have a pre-sale open, details, and time frame and all that good stuff in the description. But if you already have a vise and you're considering this, make sure you get it working as good as possible first. If I attach a 0.3 pound MagJig 95 to the handle of a properly set up twin turbo vise, just attach it and then let go. This is in high speed. It should drop. There are more than a few people out there with vises that aren't set up this well, and I'm one of them. Shouldn't stay in place, it should drop. And that suboptimal performance is a result of getting the holes drilled in the wrong spot for the screw nut blocks. It was a batch of these came in out of spec real early on. I didn't know the holes were in the wrong place, but I drilled them for out of spec, and now I'm using the, whatever. They're in the wrong spot. Let's try to fix that. There are various methods to undrill a hole, but I opted instead to drill bigger holes in the supports, giving them more room to move around and find the optimal position for smooth vise ops. And after drilling out those 8 holes, it passes the test. And even after this optimization, the high-speed bearing can cut the friction in half. Welcome to Incline Storage, where I'm packing up some micro Pika screw orders and feeling awkward filming in a public storage room. Hoping no one shows up. This is an important message, so I wanted to do it in person. The reception on these micro Pika screws has been really exciting. And I've got some big things planned. For those big things, I could use some money for the business, which means I'm going deeper on a sale than I've ever gone before. The standoffs that I use to build various hangers and the floating shelf with these Pika screws, see some videos popping up somewhere. Those are still on pre-sale. Code standoff gets you 25% off. And I've decided that if you add a vise, a twin turbo vise, that code will apply, 25% off. And if you add the pre-sale fast bearing support that I talked about in this video, I'll ship the vise right away with the old supports, and you can swap it out around August when I have the new ones in. And there's an option on all the vises for a free or no extra fee fast action handle. Also a video popping up somewhere on what exactly that is. So it's by far the best deal on a twin turbo vise that I've ever had, and it's the best deal on the Pika screws and the standoffs that will ever happen unless I've got some other big ambitious project 10 years from now. It won't be very often, and your support means a lot. Check that out, link in the description. Thanks for watching. Thanks for everything.
Dad, how is it turning?
Well, you gotta join my channel to learn how I did that.